Growing up in the 2000s and 2010s, I couldn't go into a store without seeing Lego.
Okay, so I'm at the Lego store in downtown Disney, Florida.
There were of course popular themes like Star Wars and Marvel, as well as successful original themes like Power Miners and Space Police. I remember spending hours as a kid on Lego.com in pure awe at the worlds Lego could create. I remember when Lego.com wasn't just a storefront, and instead if you wanted to purchase sets through Lego directly, you'd have to be redirected to their online store page. You used to be able to just browse Lego through their themes and explore the content they had without any capitalistic intention unless you willingly pursued it. It's honestly refreshing to look back on the early internet just to see how corporate dominant and money first it's turned into. Like back in the day, websites were just designed for the joy of a child in mind. Even big corporations like Lego and Mattel would put out flash games and interactive content and design their websites entirely focused towards a child's imagination, with some companies like Build-A-Bear even going as far as crafting their own virtual worlds. I used to spend countless hours after school browsing through Lego's themes and content just to have a bit of fun. But as the years passed by, a lot of my favorite themes simply disappeared. Beautifully imaginative worlds like the aforementioned Power Miners and Space Police would just be gone from their website and off-store shelves entirely. There were dozens of themes like this back in the day. Some of my favorites were Atlantis, Agents, and Ultra Agents. And I know it's a groaner for a lot of OG Lego fans, but Hero Factory was truly one of my favorite themes, although I know Bionicle was the far more popular one. It's gotten to the point now where there's not many original Lego themes left, and when they do come out with new ones, they seldom have the appeal of the themes of old. If you go to Lego.com today, you're immediately faced with upcoming sales and marketing for new $100 sets. And that same themes page as before has no fun, interactive content or videos and lore. It's simply just a storefront. I just think the Lego of old, where imagination is the focal point, has been just about disregarded entirely and is rapidly dying, if not already dead. This is a letter to the Lego group. I hope you're listening. Lego used to mean imagination through and through, and to me that's why the themes are so critical to their identity as a brand. You can buy two different Lego sets from two different themes and be in completely different worlds with completely different characters and lore. I truly love Star Wars, I truly love DC and Marvel sets. I own plenty of them, trust me. In fact, looking at my displays right now, there's quite a blend of original and licensed sets. Since 2019, Lego has come out with 8 original themes total. Just to state all 8 themes, by the way, they are Hidden Side, Dots, Icons, Monkey Kid, Art, Botanicals, Video, and Dreams. Of those 8, 2 were very gimmicky and didn't really have traditional sets in the vein you think about Lego in. In addition, 2 are very beloved, being Botanicals and Art, and serve a great purpose, but are still not traditional Lego in the sense that us fans know. Of the last 4, one of them's already been discontinued. Another one has a blend of licensed and original sets, so it's up for debate if that's even an original theme to begin with. And the last 2 are poorly received for the most part and are struggling to stay afloat on the market. Going back to those 8 original themes they have come out with in the past 6 years, the only 3 that you would point to and say that is a Lego theme in the traditional sense that us fans really know it as would be Hidden Side, Monkey Kid, and Dreams. To go back just a decade, from 2009 to 2015, Here's a list of all the original themes that released during that time period. And to be clear, these aren't all the original themes that were on shelves at the time. These are just the themes that were released, that were brand new during 2009 to 2015. They are Space Police, Power Miners, Kingdoms, Games, Hero Factory, Atlantis, World Racers, Alien Conquest, Heroica, Pharaoh's Quest, Ninjago, Dino, Monster Fighters, Friends, Shima, Galaxy Squad, Castle, Ultra Agents, Mixels, The Lego Movie, Elves, Speed Champions, and Dimensions. A couple of those themes aren't exactly traditional Lego themes either, like Games and Dimensions, but even taking those out of the equation, that is a statistic of 3 to 4 brand new original themes per calendar year. Meanwhile, in the past 6 years in the current day, we've only gotten about 3 of those traditional Lego themes, so that's 1 every 2 years. There is definitely a debate to be had, especially within themes that have lasted the test of time, such as Star Wars and Ninjago, that whether or not the newer sets are in fact better than the older ones. In fact, with Ninjago specifically, it wasn't until Dragons Rising when we actually started getting better quality dragons than the original molded ones during the pilot season. Obviously, that's just my subjective opinion, but I think that the Dragons Rising dragons have beaten those out. But prior to Dragons Rising, the pilot dragons reigned supreme, in my opinion. And then looking at Star Wars with sets like the Felucia MTT and the new Turbo Tank that came out, the quality and the build are just so much worse than the original MTT and the several clone takes we've gotten over the years. I think it's fair to say LEGO has flaws, and with both 6-year stretches, there's highs and lows with the quality of the sets. So despite the quantity being so much more for original themes back then, the quality was arguably still as good. Personal taste will obviously play a factor on whether or not you like a theme, and apparently the Hero Factory virus only bit me and nobody else. And despite the previous decade having a higher quantity of original themes, I don't think the quality dipped at all. With how much creativity and imagination they were putting out in the world on such a consistent and long-term basis, it's no wonder people like me who grew up with that became diehard fans. There are still a couple themes like icons and creators that will release sets modeled after original themes like Castle and Classic Space, but these original themes have not stood independently, getting their own waves in quite some time now. Currently, 65% of themes on LEGO's website are at least partially licensed. Some of these licensed themes are beloved and have been here since the early 2000s. Themes like Star Wars, Marvel, DC, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings have become every bit a part of LEGO as the original themes, and honestly synonymous with the brand of LEGO. There's so many people out there who know of LEGO from the Harry Potter games or the Star Wars games. I don't want to act like licensed themes are the villain here. In fact, licensed themes are some of my favorite themes. Most of my collection is a blend of Star Wars and Ninjago, and the new Arkham Asylum that just came out for DC gives me hope that a LEGO DC revival can happen soon. And despite never owning a Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings set, I still validate their existence and understand their positive influence they've had on the LEGO community. It's just that striking an equilibrium between original and licensed themes is something I don't think LEGO bothers practicing anymore. But I digress. I feel like the state of licensed themes has had ups and downs and improvements and declines over the years. LEGO has always had slop themes that were kind of just dead on arrival. Back then, themes like Avatar: The Last Airbender and Ben 10 just didn't have enough quality or quantity to survive on the market. I think the obvious difference between the two eras is the amount of licensed themes then versus now. There were so fewer licensed themes back then in the midst of so many original themes that LEGO's creativity didn't feel compromised, or there was no detrimental outlook on the future. Meanwhile, in modern day, seeing Minions and Peppa Pig and all of these other slop themes that are just licensed fodder on shelves, while Lego hasn't produced an original theme since 2023 now, only reinforces why I wanted to make this video in the first place. Please excuse my dusty setup in the background. This was Lego.
New Lego Power Miners. Lava monster on the loose.
New from Lego Atlantis. Divers have found the lost city of the Golden King.
New from Lego Star Wars. The Emperor senses Anakin is in trouble. Join Clutch Powers.
Clutch Powers.
Clutch Powers?
If he is to bring the other weapons here, then I will take the Sword of Fire to the underworld. It is my sacrifice to bear.
I could build a spaceship. You're not gonna say no?
For Gen Z, we know that the visual media for Lego was special back then. From the ads to the shows to the movies, everything was so charming. Like, even the Clutch Powers movie, upon rewatch as an adult, is honestly a terrible movie, but it's so charming to see the old style of Lego animation. And even going into the Lego movie later on, it's so magical, it has so much imagination and creativity behind it that you just don't see Lego doing right now. When watching TV or YouTube as a kid, those were the ads I had the pleasure of watching. From the animated minifigures to cutting to actual kids playing with the sets to the voiceover guy ending every ad with,
Each set sold separately.
it's all just so endearing. Does anyone else remember the old Power Miners animations from back in the day, or the Atlantis animations, or any of those old, like, Clutch Powers era Lego animation? Like, despite some of them literally being like commercials for products, I would still just watch them for my own pleasure in my free time. Those animations honestly were probably the precursor to developing actual TV shows like they did with Ninjago later on. Nowadays, we get ads with Tom Holland in a Lego dystopia.
To survive, we must stop playing!
I think that's what's going on there. I don't actually know. I still remember the first time I became a fan of Ninjago. I was at a relative's house and I was just chilling in their living room and they turned on the TV and they put on Cartoon Network where the pilot season of Ninjago was airing. And I remember just being absolutely taken back and mesmerized by this show. I thought it was the coolest thing I had ever seen. And I remember when I was picked up in the car ride back home from that relative's house, I could not stop thinking about Ninjago, and it became my obsession for such a long time. And then the Lego movie struck, and oh boy, that obsession is an understatement. That movie, until release and even after release, completely consumed my mind. That movie is all I ever thought about ever. I am not kidding. I quite literally am not exaggerating that one bit. I remember wanting Benny's spaceship so bad, but never got it. Never got it for Christmas. Never could afford it. Obviously, I was a child, but maybe one day. Shout out to Charlie Day, by the way, who I didn't know voiced Benny until recently, which is sad that it took me a decade to find out he voiced Benny. But shout out to Charlie Day. He's my king, my goat, my glorious Charlie Day. Rock, flag, and eagle. The worlds Lego could create through visual media was honestly so cool to witness as a kid. I'm honestly so thankful to be born in Gen Z. We truly had the best shit growing up. Gen Alpha, you can frickin' suck it. And LEGO is still attempting new visual media today with shows like Monkey Kid having a very unique animation style despite me never seeing it, which kind of makes me wish LEGO pushed harder for it. And shows like Dreams as well, which I was really hyped for pre-release, but unfortunately have not seen the show either. And with the lack of marketing and the lack of push Dreams has had, in addition to Monkey Kid, these themes are kind of just dead. I hope not to offend any fans of those themes, but I think they all know that it's kind of just a sinking ship and only a matter of time before LEGO just pulls the plug. And maybe the failure of modern original themes is why LEGO is steering away from them. Maybe they feel like if they put more out, they're risking more when compared to going with safer licensed themes. At the end of the day, that makes the most sense for a business to do, and I wouldn't be shocked if that is the internal dialogue happening between higher ups at LEGO. Circling back to the beginning of this video with Lego.com, it used to be a child's utopia to discover the vast worlds of LEGO without blunt consumerism. They had interactive web pages for every theme, often with videos and written lore. There were also flash games and coloring pages for themes. For anyone in Gen Alpha watching this video, the internet used to stand for more than just social media and purchasing things. The internet has kind of evolved into that, but websites used to be created for fun in mind and designed with the expression of creativity. Yes, social media was a thing, and yes, Amazon and Walmart had online storefronts. But the crux of the internet wasn't an agenda of fortune and virality. It was an open digital frontier for originality and imagination. YouTube was designed for self-expression. Toy companies whose audience is literally children would create safe havens for fun, amusing, interactive content. LEGO is doing what will generate the most business. I'm sure they have a team of analysts who over the years have told them to gut their site down and save resources by getting rid of negligible assets. This is simply how the market culture has evolved with the internet. They have slowly but surely stripped down the passion from themselves in pursuit of avarice. I'm running out of unique spaces to film in my room, but this will have to do for the final shot. Actually, we have one more after this, I lied. I remember vividly when I got back into LEGO as a hobby. It was slightly before the big flip during COVID back in 2019. I still wasn't driving on my own yet, so I'd ask my parents to take me to every retailer in town so I could look at the LEGO section. I remember seeing the 20th anniversary Star Wars sets in stores, and even buying a couple, which I still own actually. I bought the Snowspeeder and Anakin's pod racer. I remember saying every time we went how much I wanted the Slave One, hoping that for some reason my dad or my mom would be like, alright, I'll get it for him. I don't know, I was delusional to think my parents loved me. I'm just kidding, I love you, Mom. I remember seeing the Lego City Fire Station there, the 2019 version, and buying it when it went on discount. I bring up this fire station because I would like to talk about the decline of LEGO sets over the years. I'd like to show off 3 different fire stations. The first I'd like to show right here, which is the one I remember most fondly as a child from 2013. The next one I'd like to put here, which is the one I bought in 2019. And the last one I'd like to put here, which is the one that released after the one in 2019 retired, replacing it on store shelves. Obviously this is subjective, but I feel like there is a steady decline happening with these 3 sets. The one I remember as a kid from 2013 had 2 garage spaces and it came with a fire truck. Its overall appearance is that of a bigger and fuller set, having more playability for the child. The middle one replaces the helicopter with a drone for some reason, and also doesn't come with a fire truck and removes one of the garage spaces. It does come with a jet ski, however, but the overall building is smaller and looks less complete as a full fire headquarters than the one from 2013 does. And then lastly, the one that came out afterwards, I believe in 2021, looks by far the least complete. Yes, it comes with a road, but it looks so hollow and bare bones, even compared to that of the 2019 station. There was a stretch of a decade until 2019 where every fire station had at least 2 garage spaces and came with a fire truck, with most of them also including a helicopter as well. Every fire station from that period was big and full and had so much for potential imagination inside a child for play. I remember as a kid, I had a police headquarters and a fire headquarters, and every time I'd go to my room and see these sets, I could not help myself but come up with a new rescue mission or a new thug that needs to get busted. You could argue the sets themselves weren't imaginative or weren't creative, they just a fire station or a police station. But the amount of imagination and creativity they spark inside a child is where that comes from. I bring this example up to share that the imagination with Lego goes beyond their ability to create original themes or unique media. It's to come out with quality products that can spark the imagination of a child. Maybe I'm just nostalgic. Maybe I'm just biased for the era that I'm fond of. But sets that have been revised over the years with repetition of a downgrade in quality is only the tip of the iceberg. We used to have all of this on shelves every year, and now we have this. I think botanicals and art are great. I think they bring in an audience that wasn't previously interested in Lego. I think that from a business perspective, those themes are incredibly just, and fans of them would not have been fans of Lego without them. I just can't help but look at both images and see a replacement of identity, a shell of imagination. It doesn't take a lot of imagination for a designer to replicate real-life plants and flowers in a Lego format, or to take a Van Gogh piece and turn it into Lego. They are great achievements, and I remember as a kid I would see people turn real-life things into Lego, and it was awesome. I mean, Lego's been doing that forever. If you go to any Legoland or a big Lego Discovery Center store like the one in Orlando, that's what they have there. The unique and original worlds of Lego have been replaced with pandering and easy cash grabs to untapped markets without any creative input from Lego themselves. So to witness the death of imagination that Lego used to bring us firsthand is something I was deeply driven to talk about. My final thoughts are this. I think Lego as a company has fully evolved past the imaginative state they were in only a decade ago now. I think they have followed the prominent market trends like their fellow corporations, and by doing so have abandoned their creative and distinct identity. I don't believe I'm breaking new ground by any means. I just want a voice for Gen Z who grew up with the fascination of the imaginative Lego to be heard amongst the modern day of change for this company. I don't know the business analytics behind Lego, and even if I did, I wouldn't be able to tell you how profitable or wealthy they are. What I believe though, and what is probably obvious, is if profits are decreasing, then change may come. Whether the change is what me and other diehards want is uncertain. But if profits are increasing, as they most certainly are, then this is likely the new face for Lego. I love Lego, and I still spend my spare cash on really cool sets that I want in my collection. This past May 4th, I bought the UCS Razor Crest when it was on sale. This is the way. I understand why a lot of changes have happened, and I don't hold it against Lego. I just know Lego used to mean more than the product and held ideals that were instilled in me as a child. Now they feel no different than any of the other big toy corporations. Now it feels like soulless consumerism. Sometimes capitalism can feel like a battle between identity and greed, with each business having to balance the scales. Tipping the scales in the direction of greed is often justified by doing what's better for the business and upholding responsibility. And a corporation like Lego doesn't have any responsibility to uphold a lost, forgotten way of the past just because a few fans are disheartened. It also doesn't mean that they can't try to balance those scales once again. This is just a letter from one nostalgic fan who misses what once was. Sincerely. Thanks for watching! I'm trying my hand at these script style videos to see whether or not I enjoy the process and to gauge whether I want to make more or not. I hope the quality was of at least decent standard. I know the shots were a bit tilty at times. Maybe the audio wasn't super good, but I tried my best to be creative with this process and to utilize different parts of my room without buying a green screen or anything. Trying to keep it like authentic. So let me know if you guys enjoyed or not. I can't say exactly when I'll be posting again, but if you did enjoy this video, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned to my channel. Until next time though,